I am so excited to be here. Give me a couple minutes while I set up. We are going to be going live with our past student, Heather, and it has been a hot minute since I've done a live, so I need to remember how I can actually go on here and request her to join. Hello, Allison. Heather, there you are. Okay, perfect. Heather, if you want to request to join, or I can actually search for you here. Heather. Okay, and we're just going to wait for Heather to pop on here.
Wrong.
Heather, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am so great. Thank you so much for joining me. Before we hop into it, I just wanted to go over a quick introduction about who you are, what we're going to be talking about today. I'm so excited to have you here, though. Thank you so much for making the time for us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited and nervous, so bear with me.
I'm so anxious. I just had to pee like 3 times. I was like, hey, I haven't gone on a live in months because it's just been like it's been so busy over here. And I'm like trying to catch my breath and I'm a little bit sick. So I apologize. I kind of sound weird and I might be coughing, but that's where we're at right now. Amazing. Okay, everyone. So again, it has been a hot minute since we have hopped on a live here with y'all, but it's because we have been so freaking busy. We have been so freaking busy. We have had thousands of applications, literally thousands over the last couple of weeks, for people to come in and apply to work with us. So it's been insanity, but it's been such an amazing thing. And I am so excited that there are so many people here that are like, yep, I am getting my financial shit together. 2023 is my year. Like, let's freaking go. So anybody, if you are watching any video today, make it this one because this could just change your whole freaking life. So again, we are meeting with our past student of our 3-month group coaching program, which is the Makin Money Moves Method. And she's going to be talking about her experience and her incredible wins that she's had by learning from us and implementing the strategies into her life. So for those of you who don't know, the Makin Money Moves Method is our 3-month group coaching program. And it was based on all of the things I did to take myself from, $40,000 of debt, living paycheck to paycheck, making good money at my corporate job. Like I was making $50,000 a year, so I feel like that was a good income. But I was still living paycheck to paycheck, still had $0 in savings, and being able to go from that to paying off my student loans in 18 months, saving my first 100K by 25, paying for my wedding in cash, buying my dream home, feeling financially stable enough for kids. That was a freaking big one for me. Building a $500,000 net worth in my 20s, and then using that, then growing that to become a millionaire at 30 years old. So now I am set to be work optional in my 30s, meaning I will never have to work again for money if I don't want to, and that's an incredible fucking feeling, and I want you guys all to put yourself in a position where you are working towards that financial freedom because it is life-changing. I did all of this without a budget, without restriction, and without giving up what I loved, and I think that is what really differentiates what we teach from a lot of the other personal finance advice out there. In this program, we provide you with, the proven process and scripts that have helped our students negotiate 10, 20, 30% raises so you are making more money without working harder. 8 videos of money training to help you build a fat bank account with ease. Homework modules to help you dig deep in implementing everything that you've learned, support and coaching from myself and our incredible team for 3 months to get personalized feedback on your money plans, monthly mindset masterminds with our in-house therapist. She is amazing, so to help you overcome those mindset hurdles, the exact strategies to building a fat bank account that works harder than you do and grows while you sleep, and a step-by-step process to building your dream life. Just a little bit of background on me and our company, and sorry, Heather, right now you're like, I'm waiting.
No, you're good.
There's so many people here. We've grown, it's just crazy. In the last 2 weeks, we've grown by like 200,000 on TikTok, which is kind of unheard of for an account of our size already. So we went from 1.3 million to over 1.5 million and gained almost 15,000 followers on Instagram too. So I'm like, just to give people a little bit more information about what we're doing here. I started this account in the beginning of the pandemic from literally zero. I started this account and I was like, who is going to be my first follower? Who is actually like, would you ever go to an account and see 0 followers and join? But We actually ended up exploding overnight. I have helped so many people since then, just through our free content, through our socials, and through our programs now, over 160,000 students. I've gotten a book deal and become a published author. That was published back in August. Thank you. And I've been interviewed or quoted in like a ton of top publications, and it's because what we are doing here is truly life-changing, right? It's the stuff that we should have been taught in school. It's the stuff that's going to take you from feeling stuck and unsure about your future to building a fat bank account that works harder than you do, that allows you to build your dream life. Because remember, money is a tool, right? And when we have the right strategies and the right roadmap to success, it gets to be easy. Money should be bringing you happiness and fulfillment, not stress, right? That's what we want to move away from, and that is what I'm here to teach you guys, so that you can start to change everything. So if you want more details about our program, you can head over to our link in bio, or you can hop onto our website under Work with Nicole, or you can reach out to our support team, support@nobudgetbabe.com. So thank you for listening to my long intro. But today we are joined again with our past student, Heather, from our Makin Money Moves Method program. Heather was able to Heather completed the program about 2 months ago. During her time with us, she was able to achieve some incredible things. I can't fucking speak today, and I'm like, of course, I'm not alive. She was able to go from living paycheck to paycheck, building a bank account effortlessly that's growing for her, paid off her credit card in record time, started investing, created a roadmap to reaching all of her life and personal goals, no longer feels stressed or defeated around money in today's economy. And my favorite quote that you had, my mental and financial situation has been upgraded in such a way, my only choice is to succeed and accomplish all I've ever wanted. I'm literally gonna fucking cry. I love that so much. I think it's so important for you guys to hear from our students so that you can see that it is possible to change your situation. It is possible. I know a lot of times you guys are going to feel stuck and like you've tried everything. I promise you there is always another way. And I know it's easy to think, well, you know, this worked for Nicole, she must be an anomaly. What I want you to take from this is that when you have the roadmap to success, money gets to be easy, and someone who has done the thing that you want to do is proof that it is possible, okay? It is possible. You just need to figure out how to make it work for your personal situation. So, without further ado, welcome, Heather. Let's tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're from, all that fun stuff.
All right. Hi, everybody. Bear with me, we just got a puppy. That's how much more money that I had that I was able to finally get our family a puppy. So if you hear in the background, I'm so sorry. But my name is Heather. I am 34 years old. I am a mother of 3. I was born and raised in the Bay Area, California. But a few years ago, I did move to Utah. I have been an athlete pretty much my entire life until some college where I decided to drop out. I just decided I didn't want to spend any more time writing essays on things that I don't care about. And then I joined the workforce. And yeah, since finding you, life has been so much better.
I love that. So tell them, where did you find out about us?
I actually found you on TikTok. I was working. I shouldn't be on TikTok while I'm working, but I was working. I saw your video and I saved it real quick. Later on that day, my kids had their first play date. They're young. They had their first play date, came home, and they were just talking about all these amazing things. We live in a pretty good area where, you know, people are pretty wealthy. So we're kind of like, you know, the people that stand out, because I'm not whatsoever in, you know, how other people are doing in my area. Anyway, they come home and they're just telling me, oh, my friend has this and that. Their house is so big. And normally I don't compare myself to other people, but for some reason that night I did, and it was just the last straw for me. I went to my bathroom, I cried, thinking that I should have been somewhere else at this point in life. I'm 34 now. I have 3 kids. I was feeling like defeated. Like I should have been able to provide more for my children at this point. And while I was crying, I remembered I saved your TikTok. So I opened up my phone, watched that TikTok. I watched in the video, this is back in September, the video that you posted was about how to make more money without giving up more of your life. Because at this point, I was feeling like, how am I supposed to raise my kids without having to trade motherhood for it?
Yeah.
I already get off late enough where I'm only able to spend about 2 hours with them before I put them to bed. So everybody's telling me to enjoy these young years of theirs, but it's difficult when I'm having to trade. I'm like having to sell my time to, my job and just to make money, put food in their mouths, a roof over their head, a car to drive. I was just feeling really defeated at that point.
I'm so sorry that you were going through that. I'm so happy that you were able to find resources that were able to help you. The one thing that I want to say for anybody watching this is that like, you don't have to feel shame. You don't have to feel blame about where you are. Like, the world is fucking hard, right? Life is hard. The beautiful thing, though, is we get to choose our hard, right? So you said, okay, it's hard for me living like this right now. It may feel hard to go and try to figure out another way to learn a different skill, to whatever it is, but I'm going to choose that hard path instead of this hard path. And I think it's also really important to note that, like, I mean, a couple things. Number one, we can't change, like, who we are, where we came from, what we've done in the past, right? Like, if you guys know anything about me, you know my like upbringing and my kind of like life story was not like, I did not have like an idealistic childhood. I came from a family that didn't have a lot of money. There were a lot of struggles with like health issues and mental health and that kind of thing. And it was a difficult childhood. And for a long time, I believed that like that was what had to be perpetuated like in my life moving forward, that was what I had to have. Like, there was a limit to how much success I could have. Like, I could get like a little bit better, right? I could have like a little bit more, but that the people that were wealthier, the people that had the things or the time or the money or whatever, they were the exception and not the rule. That's when I realized, you know, I wasn't taught how to do anything else, right? And so for anybody watching this, if you're like, well, I'm in this situation and I don't know what else to do, it's because you weren't taught, and that's not your fault, right? It's not your fault that you weren't taught. If your parents don't know, right? We're not taught in school. If your parents don't know, then you probably don't know either. And I will say, actually, unfortunately, and this fucking burns me so much, but there are so many students that come into our program that are like, my parents are very well off and they invest and they do all of these things, but they never taught me any of it. And so many women that come into our programs telling me like, oh, you know, they teach my brother or they help my brother or they whatever. And then there's a difference between how their daughters are parented versus how their sons are parented. And their daughters are told, well, you just need to find a man and he's going to take care of you and blah, blah, blah. And like growing up witnessing so much financial abuse and domestic abuse and that kind of stuff, it's just like, no, I don't know. And maybe this is kind of like my cross to bear, but I've been like, I don't want to have to depend on anybody else to make sure that I can eat, to make sure that I can, like, you know, succeed in my life. Like, I don't want to marry a rich man. I want to be my own fucking rich man, and I want to be able to take care of myself and build that life for myself. So again, guys, like, if you're watching this, don't think, okay, well, I'm in this situation, this is where I have to be forever, or have any shame or any blame around any of that. We're all learning, right? So give yourself some fucking grace, right? And understand that it's not your fault, but now it is your responsibility, right? If you want something different, if we keep doing the same things, we're going to keep getting the same results. So we need to understand that if we want something different, we have to do something different, and that is exactly what you did. So why don't you tell us a little bit more where you were financially and personally before entering the program. So you were saying that you were, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, you were, you know, making decent money, but you weren't really sure what to do with it. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So I found that I had way too many days left with not enough money. Before I joined the program, I was feeling defeated. I'm not normally like this. I'm normally optimistic and just like, you know, I was taught to be a go-getter. So that was just me. I was just a little backstory. I'm a second generation Tongan American. My grandparents, they came from the island of Tonga in 1956. So, you know, when you're an immigrant, you come to the States and you work hard. You work hard, you bust your butt, and that's the same work ethic they taught my mom, which I'm proud of, because they're hard workers. My mom is a hard worker. And I had to grow up with a single mom. I remember days where I would have to go with my mom to work because being a mom or working wasn't an option. We had to she had to hide us in her company vehicle, and we'd go around with her just because that was the option for her. And then when it came to me, I also, she taught me that save, work hard, save, work hard, save, work hard. But then it came to a point where I became a mother and I started having different views on things. And I'm like, how am I supposed to raise, like my number one goal was to raise healthy-minded children. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to raise healthy-minded children if I'm having to be somewhere else most of the time just so that we can survive? So for like the past year and a half, I started going into a dark place, started feeling like, what am I doing wrong? I started feeling hopeless. I became a brand new aunt, and seeing my niece was so special to me. And I felt like, how am I supposed to be more present for my niece and, and my children? And just how am I supposed to do all these things when I'm feeling like life is passing me by and I'm starting to, I started hate clocking into work. I'm not feeling fulfilled. I started avoiding looking at my bank accounts. I'm just spending money because I'm thinking that this is where I want to spend money. And I'm just like, well, I should have about this much left here and there. I know I got this balance on that credit card. And I just started avoiding my financial situation as a whole. I knew I was making money, but I just didn't know where to put it. I just had all these stresses that were taking over me. And I just overall, I was like, I am not fulfilled. I am not feeling fulfilled in this life. Is this the way that I'm going to die? I'm going to die financially illiterate. My job here, having these children, were to learn and then learn everything possible that I can so that I can teach them and pass it on to them. And I know that when I pass, they will be okay. But it just wasn't happening for me. And I'm curious all the time that there are successful people, there are wealthy people, but how do I do it? I don't trust a lot of people on the internet. Everybody wants to get rich quick. No, I don't want to buy this and buy that. It was very hard for me to trust anybody until I found you, because you, in all of your videos, whether we know you or not, you explain who you are, where you came from, and where you're at now. And it was so relatable to me. And it was a comfort, oh my gosh, I think I finally found the person I have been looking for. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know you existed. I didn't know you had this program. But when I finally found you, I was I prayed upon it. I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I found her. This is it for me. This is going to be my life changer. And that's when it did not take me long. Found you that day in September, immediately signed up to join your program. In the meantime, did all the free trainings. I watched your YouTube. I watched student success stories. I listened to your podcasts. I did all the research, just making sure that it didn't take me long to figure out that I was making the right decision. But yeah, just that feeling beforehand of defeat mentally, financially, feeling like there wasn't a way out anymore and feeling just so stuck. I'm just so grateful that I came across you and that you have helped me the way that you have.
Heather, I don't usually get so emotional with these things, but I this whole time just trying not to cry. Actually, so I talked about you on a podcast that I recorded last week, and I actually started crying, and I actually had to I was stop, because I am so emotional about this, and I feel like your story is so beautiful, and it resonates with me so much, and there's so many parts to this. I'm literally gonna cry again. There's so many parts to this that So like number one, like you being an immigrant coming into the country. I obviously am not an immigrant, but my mom was. So she immigrated here when she was very young from Malta with her family. And something that I really noticed with her is like this scarcity mindset. And that was really like passed down to me because it's like, when you're an immigrant coming into this country, you know, like my nana would work the day shift, my nana would work the night shift at a factory, and like they never got to see each other. They had 5 kids, but they never got to see each other because somebody always had to be there for the kids, and like they both died very young, and it was just sad, right? And like they both were in the army in Malta before they came here, so they were very like strict, very like, you know, rule-based kind of thing, ruled with like an iron fist. And a lot of that was like passed down to me. So it's like this generational trauma also that's coming from, you know, them having to leave their whole life on this like beautiful island with these beautiful people and come here and just fucking grind it out all day, all night. And it's like you just have to work hard and you have to, you know what I mean? And I think it's such a mindset shift to going from thinking that like to be successful, you have to work hard, to understanding that like your money can work hard for you and money is actually a tool, and also like overcoming that scarcity of like not having enough. And so for those of you who don't know, like a lot of what I teach, yes, I teach like the tactic, how to invest, how to build $1 million portfolio, all of those amazing things, how to pay off your debt. But I also focus a lot on like the mindset and the behavior behind why we're doing what we're doing. Because it's so important to remember that like the results we have in life are based on our actions, and our actions are based on our behaviors, and our behaviors are based on like the rules that we have, right? And we don't even realize this. By the time we're 7 years old, we've created all of the rules that we're going to use around money, like for the rest of our lives. So how we think about money, and you know, if your parents always say things like, no, we don't have money for that, or money doesn't grow on trees, or who'd she have to screw to get that job, or whatever it is, right? These create rules in our mind, whether we realize it or not. And if you are not intentional about taking an inventory about what those rules are and saying, okay, is this serving me, growing me, or making me happy? And then taking the opportunity to rewrite those, they can continue to run your life. And this scarcity mindset, this feeling of never having enough, for those of you who don't know, scarcity is like, you know, when you think of the world as like a big pizza, and if somebody else takes a slice, that means it's just got like there's not enough for you now, right? There's not enough. And it's just this feeling of, even when you have enough, right, not having enough. And there's been studies that have been done. I think it was a Harvard economist and a Princeton psychologist, I can't remember. Anyways, it basically is looking at the effects of scarcity on your life. So even if you have a scarcity mindset, even if you're not living in poverty, it has the same effects on your brain as living in poverty. It can prevent you from making good decisions about your future, right? Because you can't plan for your future because you're so worried about today. You are so stuck in today and what you don't have and how scary everything is, that you're not able to start investing, that you're not able to save for later, that you're not able to, like, you don't even look at the bills or anything. You just avoided exactly what you said, that financial avoidance. It's like, you know, your mind becomes like a computer running with like 40,000 tabs open. It gets bogged down, right? It has the same effects on your brain as alcoholism, and not like not sleeping for an entire night. Imagine you not sleeping for an entire night, right? And then trying to go about your day the next day. You're not going to make good decisions, right? You're going to be, you know, running on autopilot and just doing the same thing and slogging through because you don't have that mental capacity to be trying to do anything else. And that is why I say, like, mindset is at the forefront of everything. Not everybody is struggling with this scarcity mindset, but I think that it is very prevalent. There are other types of mindset challenges that people run into, which is really, you know, the difference between like a growth and a fixed mindset, where a growth mindset says, you know, maybe we're not all going to be Albert Einstein, but who knows who we could be with the right passion, timeline, knowledge, energy, and grit. And a fixed mindset will look at a situation and say, well, I can change, but only so much. Or, you know, it's not possible for me to change my personality, my level of success, my level of intelligence. All of that stuff is fixed. And actually, these mindsets have been studied, and a growth mindset has been proven to be primed for success, because a growth mindset looks at a challenge and doesn't say, I can't. they say, how can I? And I literally bought this book for Liam, and it's called The Growth Mindset Ninja. I love it so much because it's just like, it's like the power of yet, you know, like in the book, it's like this little alien, he's throwing a baseball and he's like, I can't throw a baseball yet. And it's just all of these things like dot, 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 yet, because just because you don't know how to do something today, or just because something today is not in your life or the way you want it to be, doesn't mean it won't be in the future. You can always, you can change anything with the right timeline, passion, energy, knowledge, and grit. So I think that that is so amazing that you were able to, like, you have to give yourself some really big kudos for that, because you are able to go from this avoidance, from this scarcity, from this feeling of I'm fucking stuck and I'm never going to get out of this, I'm literally going to die this way, which like broke my fucking heart, to saying other people have done this, so how can I? That is the fucking key to everything. That is the key to life. Someone else has done this, so how can I, right? Everybody's path is going to look a little bit different, but you can figure it out, right? It's looking at a challenge and saying, how can I, instead of saying, I can't. Okay, that was amazing. Tell us more about what your goals were coming into the program and what you were able to accomplish with what you learned.
So I've actually been on like a mental health journey for like the past 3 years. Lots of ups and downs, but I knew that I wanted to repair a lot of my relationships, whether it be with food, with, you know, family members, setting, you know, myself. But I really wanted to repair my relationship with money. I knew that something needed to be done. I didn't know what yet, but I was so surprised when I came into this program and all of the mindset, the whole mindset thing that is taught. I took so many notes. I mean, like, okay, I'm probably like an over preparer, but like I have like a whole binder of like things that
so much.
I'm just such a note taker. I'm such a note taker because I hear things, but I also need to put it in my own words for me to read back. But just the whole mindset thing, it was probably the scariest thing that I've done in a while, because I thought I knew myself, but then I really had to get to know myself. I had to revisit my past traumas that I didn't know were causing negative effects in my adulthood. I had to revisit like all the money that I just blew through. I made a lot of money in my lifetime since becoming an adult, and I'm just like, dang, I could have been a lot further, but I didn't know at that time.
That's okay. No shame, no blame, right?
Yeah, that's taught throughout the whole course as well, which I'm grateful for, because in coming into the program, I felt shame, and I was even scared to even, when you asked to do this live, I was like, does she have the right Heather? I was like, oh my gosh, are you sure? And it took me a while to respond, because I'm just like, do I really? I don't let people in on my life. My financial situation has had such a toll on me that I've just felt like I couldn't even make friends. I couldn't even have new relationships, because I felt like I just had so much baggage that I couldn't let people in, and I didn't want to let people in. But now, after going through this program and building a personal plan for me, like a exit plan, I'm not out of it yet, but I'm damn close to where I want to go. And just finally seeing that light, like now I'm like, okay, I feel a weight lifted off of me. I feel like I can branch out and give people my time. I felt like there was just too much on me that I would be a bad friend. I can't pour into other people's cups because mine isn't full. I just felt so, I'm telling you, I felt such a toll on me. And I wasn't showing it to anybody. No way. I would not budge. I poker face all the way, especially in front of my kids. Definitely do not want to let them know that something's bothering me, because I deserve a happy me and they deserve a happy me. But, you know, behind closed doors, I would just be like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? How am I going to do it? I'm so stressed out. I would cry. I would look over my bills like, how am I going to do it? I don't know. One thing that I haven't shared is I have been in a relationship where my partner and I haven't been on the same financial goals. He's dealt with a lot of trauma as a child. He kind of grew up poor, came into his adulthood, and finally making some money. And his first thought, just like mine, really wasn't to save. It was, how can we spend it on our kids? Oh, we want to do this. We want to do that. And in turn, it was causing me to dish out more money on my end, and my credit dropped. I got behind on bills. Some days I wouldn't know, like, some days I would be browsing, like, okay, a payday loan. I couldn't do it, but still, I was in that situation where me and my partner are not seeing eye to eye. And that's also what dug me into a hole. I'm just like, there's no way out of this. I'm stuck. I don't want to get another job because I don't want to take more away from my kids. But I'm also having to dish out more on my end. Like, how am I going to get out of this? I'm sorry if I sound like super random.
No,
I'm just
I think that this is so important though, right? That's one of the first things that we go through in the program is like how to get your partner on board with your financial goals. I literally have a module called how to get your partner on board with your financial goals, because like if you guys are not on the same page, it's going to be so difficult, right? You're going to have to work that much harder to try to make up for whatever's going on over here. And it's just a lot of our students come through the program and they take the program with their significant other, or they show up to the calls together or whatever, or they do some learnings together. And I think we even provide those tools so that you can start, number one, like setting those financial boundaries and talking about what your goals are going to be. And the thing is here too, okay, when a lot of people fight about money, right? Money is like the number one cause for fucking divorce. People fight about financial things. I think it's because, we have all of this anxiety around money, right? Money has always, like, growing up for a lot of people, money is just like stress, right? You think about money, you think about stress, you think about bills, you think about how much you don't have, right? But the way we want to start thinking about money is, number one, that it's a tool, and number one, like what it can fucking provide for us in our lives, because it gets to be a beautiful thing. So when you can go and have that conversation with your partner and you guys can get on the same page and you can start talking about money in a positive way, right? Then it doesn't feel so like anxiety ridden. Then it doesn't feel like, every time you talk about it, it has to be a fight. And that's why I say, like, the program, yes, it gets to change your financial situation, but it gets to change yourself. It gets to change your relationships. Like our students have, I sleep better, I'm eating better, I'm having better relationships, I'm less stressed, because money really is that like precursor. It's that foundation for so many fucking things. And that's why we try to make sure that with this program, like that's why we have a therapist on staff, right? It's not just like eat beans and rice. Like that's not going to change everything for you. What's going to change everything is understanding why you have been stuck in the first place and then how to overcome that. So no, it's not random. And I love that you shared that. And I appreciate that you feel so trusting, that you feel that you're able to share that with us, because I think, look at the little fires and the hearts and all the things, like everybody is relating to what you were saying. And that's why I was like, when I saw your assessment come through at the end of the program, I was like, she has literally just like, she is embodying so many people. And I think there's so many people that have that shame that you were talking about, where like, I'm doing something wrong, I should have been further ahead, I've screwed up, I've whatever it is. You guys, we've had 160,000 people through our my TikTok is at 1.5 million. Like, there's a reason. You're not the only one. The people who are saying that they have it all together, most of them do not, right? Most of them look like they have it together on the outside, but on the inside, they're feeling the same way that you are. But we have this like shame in our society around it, but it's not serving us. Having this shame, not talking about this openly, is not serving us. And I think that's what's great about the group as well, is you can see you're not the only one. Everybody else in there is going through something similar, and you guys can grow together and network and connect. And, you know, like I love on the group coaching calls, somebody will share something that's going on with them, and everybody's like so fucking supportive. Like, are the people that we have in our programs, like, you guys are just so amazing, and you're so supportive of each other, and you're so, I feel really fucking lucky that I get to do this, and then I get to help you guys, and then I get to be surrounded by such incredible women, right? Like, this is such a big thing. Sorry, I went on like a little bit of a
No, that's good. You deserve it. You deserve your flowers. You deserve your flowers because when I tried to learn about money, I got overwhelmed. That's why, you know, I'm not as successful or where I'm at right now that I want to be. But you found the way, and you decided to put it out there and teach other women. So kudos to you. Kudos to you because you're changing lives, and you've changed my life. So I'm so thankful.
Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Thank you. You're so sweet. I appreciate that so much. Honestly, it's so crazy. Even like for me, when I look at, you know, before the pandemic, like I think I saw a question in there before. Somebody was like, how did you go from real estate agent to financial coach? So like before the pandemic, I was selling real estate. And I think it's a really good kind of tie into this because I was helping people make the largest financial decision of their entire lives. And I don't like real estate agents usually because I feel like they're just kind of like salesy. My whole thing was like, I'm not selling you a house, right? I'm selling you myself. I'm selling you on why I'm the best person to help you with this transaction. And I kind of like called myself like the anti-real estate agent because like a lot of times my clients would be like, you're so negative. Like when we'd go into a house, I'd be like, it has knob and tube wiring. It has like the furnace is this old, blah, 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 this. I'm like, you know, I see like problems with the foundation here. And they're like, oh, I love it. The kitchen's so nice. And I'm like, okay, but, you know, look at all these things. And they're like, why are you so negative in every house you go into? And I'm like, it's not that I'm negative. You know why you love the house. Like my job is to point out all of the potential flaws and all of the ways that this could cost you a lot of fucking money that you're not seeing, right? And help you guide your decision that way. And, you know, from there, I worked with like a lot of investors. I was buying and selling real estate for myself as well. And I had helped a lot of like friends and family. And then I had helped myself do all of these things. Like I became obsessed with personal finance in my early 20s because like similar to a lot of people, right? I went to school. I did what I was like supposed to do, right? You know, in these families where you don't have a lot of money, they're like, go to school, get a degree. That's what you got to do. Then you're going to be good. So I went to school, I got a business degree, and then I went to go work my corporate job, and I'm like, okay, now I'm going to have all the success and all the happiness and all of the money and all of the things. And I got there and I was like, ah, shit, where is it? Like, where is it? Why am I still stuck? And I was so unhappy. And I'm looking around at the people around me and I'm like, you guys don't have it going on either. What the fuck? What this is, you told me 1 + 1 = 2. I did 1 + 1. I'm here, and it's equaling fucking 6. Like, where is all of this stuff? And that's when I went back and I tried budgeting and I tried all of these things, and nothing worked. And I kind of had this like quarter life crisis where I'm like, who am I? And why am I here? And what's the purpose of anything? And like, I started reading a lot about like philosophy and psychology and personal finance, and what I realized was, number one, that we've all been sold a lot of fucking lies. Number two, that life doesn't have to be the way that it is for everybody else. Like the average person, you know, you're in debt, you're in a job you hate, you are unhappy, right? The world unhappiness score is going up. People are fucking unhappy, and it's like, if we keep doing these things, we're just going to have more of the same, and we don't want that. So we need to go back to square one. And I started to rewrite everything and relearn everything. And when I realized that there had been just so many things that we have been told that are just wrong, I started rewriting them and I started changing them for myself, and I started having a lot of success. And that's when I started having, you know, like friends and family come and talk to me and be like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me want to start investing? Can you help me whatever? And again, like I said in the beginning, in the beginning of the pandemic, it was really apparent to me too. I'm like, fuck, you know, I was nervous a little bit at the time because my husband got laid off. And I was like, will I ever sell another house again? But at the same time, I was like, well, I have an emergency fund, right? I have 12 months of expenses. Like, I'm kind of okay. And I realized that a lot of people were not. And I was like, okay, well, a lot of people don't even know what a fucking emergency fund is. Like, I grew up believing that an emergency fund was your credit card or your line of credit, right? It's just somebody else's money. I didn't know that people put money away in an account for like a rainy day. Like, what? You guys do that? Like, you plan for the future, you plan for these things. And that's when I realized there were so many people that just didn't have access to this information or didn't know about this stuff. And so I created the account online and it just fucking blew up. And that's kind of, and I sold real estate still as I was, creating this business. And it exploded to the point where I was like, I was working like, oh God, like fucking all day, like 7 a.m. till like 12 a.m. like, and I, parenting kids in between that, being pregnant, all the things. And I was like, this is too much. And my investments kept growing. And, we were able to reach a point where my husband was able to stop working so that he could be home with the kids. And I was like, well, we're kind of there. I'm at like FIRE right now, which is financial independence, retired early. I could stop working if I wanted to. I'm aiming for fat FIRE, so I'm like letting my investments grow over the next like 5 to 10 years. I'm like, okay, 7 to 10 years in the stock market, they'll double, and then I'll be good. But I kind of went off track a little bit there, but like that's a little bit more about like kind of how I got into this, and going from being a real estate agent and trying this in my own life and then applying it to our students. Like when I started with our students, I started first with just I think 4 one-on-one clients, right? And I was like, hey, let me teach you one-on-one and let me see if these methodologies work, right? Because you need to like test your process before you go and provide it to a mass amount of people. So I tested it and I saw that these people got incredible results. So I took the things that they asked and the things that I taught and I used that to create a program. And as I was growing our social media and I was getting all of these really great results for our students and I was getting all of these really great testimonials and more people were coming in, that's when I turned that into like the group coaching program that it is now, because there was just so much demand that I was like, I physically cannot do this many people. So now I'm able to just help, a group of people at a time, and it's such a beautiful thing because we get to have people like you that come through and that not only just like sign up, but you sign up, you commit yourself to every module in the same way, because I know a lot of people are like, I just want to get to the investing part. And like, I know it's sexy, guys. Like, I know it's sexy, right? Making money while you sleep, that is the best fucking feeling. However, if you don't have your financial foundation set first, the rest of the stuff's not going to work. You're going to lose money. You need to have that financial foundation. And this is why we teach all of those steps, and everything we teach is in such an order that the last module builds on the next one, right? And it allows you to have a full picture by the end, but you came in, you committed yourself to every single module in the same way. You fucking showed up for yourself. You didn't phone it in, right? You did the work, you showed up, you came to the calls, you asked questions, and like, you've changed so much. So tell us more about what you were able to accomplish with our teachings. Where are you today now?
So I actually built my baby emergency fund twice in the program, which I was like, where the hell is this money coming from? I cut down a lot of things that I thought I needed. Subscriptions, gone. Things around my home that I don't even use, gone. I negotiated my insurance, my phone bill. I took back bank fees that, overdraft fees. I took back like $100 right in the beginning. Mm-hmm. The first thing that I changed joining the program is the way that I talked about money around my children. Mm-hmm. Because realizing just the negative effect that it put on me as a child. Now, my parents, I'm pretty sure they didn't know at that time what my mind was thinking. I immediately stopped all that talk. I was able to, I've been wanting to get into a different career for so long, but I've just always been in fear, okay, maybe I'll do it this time. Oh no, oh, I'm getting older. Am I going to do it? No, I'm just been in such fear to finally take the leap. Well, I took the leap. I'm furthering my education in a whole different career that'll bring me just, more fulfillment. I actually took, I did a lot of the exercises that you had from guest speakers.
Mm-hmm.
One of them that just solidified me jumping into changing careers was an exercise that we were instructed to do for like what you're good at, like what you actually want to do, what you don't like about your job, and it was like a four square, and out of that, I was like, I can definitely take my passions and like my talents to this career that I've been wanting to do, that I've been so scared to do, because I'm just like, I'm older now. Like, am I too old to change careers? But nope, I went and did it, girl. I said, I'm out. I said, I'm going to change my career. I'm going to learn more and I'm going to get into that. I also figured out, like, there are so many, everybody has like a side hustle that they want to do. But I just had so many and I wasn't sure how to do it or exactly what I wanted to start on. I finally have that in plan. Like, I've been working on that, another stream of income. I'm investing now.
Yes.
And the thing that I was like so excited about is I grew so much confidence in this program that I didn't even resort to a financial advisor or robo advisor. I went and I did all my research just the way that you taught me, and I did it myself.
And you
I felt so confident. Yeah, I felt secure that I just went and did it myself. I feel like I was presented with enough knowledge and tools in this program to just confidently go for it. There is just so much. I'm trying to pinpoint all the things that I've learned in this program, but I think one of the biggest things, I know I keep on bringing it back to my kids.
I love it.
But I'm just it's just such a relief that I know that when I pass, my kids will be okay. That I have the knowledge to teach them to be successful. That with the tools that I've learned in this program, that they won't have to repeat the same stresses that I've gone through. They won't have to live paycheck to paycheck. They'll know to pay their future selves first before going out and buying the thing that you think that you need. Like, I've never really been like a materialistic person, but I'm just so happy to have accomplished the feeling of freedom. I'm not financially free yet, but just the feeling, knowing that me and Liam, I'm gonna have to read that book. Liam's gonna have to read to me. But it's just such a weight off my shoulder knowing that I'm gonna get there. I have a plan. I've paid down like $5,000 in debt, just like in the 3 months. Yeah. And this is me coming from paycheck to paycheck. Like, where's this money coming from? It's just, I was able to regroup what I actually feel fulfills me in life, what I actually want, what my purpose and intentions are in this lifetime. And I'm such a better mom now. I feel like even I'm way more positive, way more happier, way more optimistic. When my kids have questions, I love to answer. Like, I just want to fuel their minds. And I was so nervous coming onto this live, but I figured I'm not the only one in this situation. I'm not the only one who's living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not the only one with a partner who's, not on the same financial page as me. Like, everybody has their own personal issues they're dealing with financially, but I hope that when I came on here that I inspired somebody that as regular as me, I'm just a regular American, regular as can be. If somebody like me can come into this program and find as much success as I have, to be a better person. Sorry.
Hello. Oh.
I said I wasn't going to cry, but I just feel like I've been so blessed being able to find the success that I have and knowing that my life will be fulfilled and my time will be spent the way that I want it to be spent and not forever being a mom when my job says I can, or having me time when my job says I can. Like, I finally found the tools that you have found and have shared it with us for me to finally enjoy this earth that God created for us to enjoy without me feeling stress or anxiety or just like that there's no way or purpose for me anymore in this lifetime. I'm just so grateful to become a better me, become a better mom, a better future friend to whoever I meet out there. But I'm just so thankful with I can't even stress. Just if you are looking to change your vision on life, if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like there's no way out, or even if you have all that money but you just need to know where to put it, just join this program. I'm so serious, guys. I am a true testament to the success of what Nicole is teaching. I am so grateful for all the research, all of the information she found, and she didn't keep it to herself. She decided to shed it upon us, and especially women, because oftentimes we're put in a situation where we're getting paid less. We're having to be the mom, the moneymaker, the nurse, the everything. Women we're not uplifted enough with each other. And of course, I know there's not all men are like this, but sorry, I'm getting like
support each other. We have to support each other. We have to uplift each other. We have to be there to fill the gaps. Like, why, when women are taught about money, we're taught to budget and coupon, but when men are taught about money, they're taught to invest and start businesses and negotiate. Those are the things that fucking move the needle, right? And women have been left out of the money conversation for too long. Right? We deserve to have our own financial stability. We deserve to have our own financial freedom. We deserve to be able to rely on ourselves, right? And this doesn't mean that you can't have a partnership, but like, my husband and I, like, we've been together since I was 16. We've been together for 16 years. And we still have separate bank accounts. We literally still have separate bank accounts. Because, like, I don't know, I feel like everybody needs access to their own money. Everybody needs access to their own things. Everybody needs access to their own, just all of that stuff. Like I said before, like, and maybe I'm a little bit jaded because of the way that I grew up, but I saw so much financial abuse. I saw so much domestic abuse, and I saw so many people in situations where they were not able to thrive in life because they were held back because they didn't have that knowledge or they didn't have that information. And oh God, like, when I get DMs from people, like, one of our students messaged me a couple days ago and she was like, I was finally able to, like, leave my abusive relationship and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, not that everybody coming into the program is in these situations, but it's such a beautiful fucking thing, man, to know that I've been able to help you guys and to know that you've been able to, like, not let life just, like, kick you while you're down and then keep you there, right? You see it and you're like, okay, it sucked. It's not my fault, but I'm going to take the responsibility now and I'm going to fucking change things because we're only here for one time. I don't know. I, like, feel like I'm so old lately. And I'm like, this concept of mortality is just, like, in my fucking head, man. I'm like, I'm just going to die. Like, I'm just not going to exist one day. And I'm like, the only point, like, while you're here, like, we need to be here to enjoy. You have the ability, like, you are the artist of your own life. You get to create and craft your life the way that it is. You don't have to just be like, okay, well, tomorrow I'm going to start a new chapter. No, throw out the whole damn fucking book. Write a whole new book. You get to do that. You can wake up tomorrow and decide to write a whole new book, right? And that is what you are doing. And it's so fucking beautiful, and you are doing it not just for you but for your kids. And you're not only just keeping that knowledge for you, but you're changing the way that you're talking to your kids, interacting with them. the things that you're sharing with them, like, it's beautiful. Like, this is not, like, learning this is not just like changing your life, but it's changing their lives and their children's lives and their children's children's lives. Like, you just made the decision, you just took the actions that are changing fucking history for your entire lineage. Like, I don't know if you realize, like that, that's fucking huge. That is huge. Like, congratulations. That is so big. You have done so amazing. And I get so emotional every time I talk about you. This is just amazing, Heather. Like, I can't.
Thank you. You're so kind. I know. I swear, when I got that email, I was like, little old me, are you sure?
Get out of here. Okay. Tell us, what goals are you pursuing next?
So I think you kind of went over that a little bit with my career change.
Yep.
I
Your
have,
side hustle.
yeah, my side hustle. I'm still learning different streams of income, but I think the biggest thing for me is knowing that I know how to invest and that I don't have to keep giving up more of my life to make somebody else successful. Like, I have the tools, I've learned the tools to make myself successful. And it really makes me excited to talk to people about financial literacy, because I'm just like, I've always wanted to do something like this. I think I've just held myself back a lot. I've had a lot of doubt. Even when I want to talk about it with people, I just felt like I wasn't a credible source. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is that I'm working on now is learning how to multiply my income.
Yes, I love that. I love that. We're going to be learning all about, Heather is actually joining us in our income multiplier program. It is, so Makin Money Moves is our 3-month coaching program. It's where you get the knowledge to start changing your financial situation, where you get your financial shit together, where we start building you a fat bank account, where we build you a savings account, where we build you an investment account, where you start to pay off debt, where you change your money mindset, all of those things. You put those financial foundations in place, and then income multiplier is kind of like step 2, where once you have all of that stuff in place, then you learn how to do things like invest in real estate, start a side hustle, create those multiple streams of income. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income, but the average American has 1, right? So do you guys see a difference? Right? The average millionaire is not going out and getting 7 jobs. They're finding 7 ways for money to come to them while they sleep. Retirement is not an age, right? You don't just get to retire when you turn 65. Retirement is a number in the bank. Retirement is when the income from your investments or your assets cover your living expenses. And I think it's so fucked up that we are not taught about this in school. Yeah. Because you literally cannot ever stop working. You cannot ever stop working if you don't have enough money to cover your living expenses. That is why we see people working into their 70s. Because they don't have another choice, right? And a lot of people don't think about this until they're like 55 and they're like, shit, what? How is this going to work, right? And the beautiful thing about investing is that it does all the heavy lifting for you, but you got to start early, right? The later you wait, the more personal capital you're going to have to put in. But it doesn't mean that, again, no shame, no blame. It doesn't mean that you can't do it, right? Something is always better than nothing. If you are 60 and you're watching this and you're like, damn, start saving, right? Something is always better than nothing. However, right? We want to start creating this muscle memory. We want to start putting these habits into action as soon as possible so that compound interest can do its thing, the money can do the heavy lifting, and you get to sit back and relax, right? Stop looking at ways to further employ yourself and look at ways to employ your money. If you make $50,000 a year, those are 50,000 little workers that you have that can go to work for you. So, Heather, thank you so much for joining us today. You are such a beautiful fucking person, and I am just so proud of you. And I love this so much, and thank you so much for joining us. If you guys want to learn more about our programs and how they can help you change your life, you can check out our link in bio. You can start with our free trainings. We have 4 free trainings and a free ebook. I put up all of the free content. They're an amazing place to start learning. If you've done the free trainings or you want more support or you want to work with me personally, you can check out our website under Work with Nicole or through our link in bio. Also, You guys are incredible. Thank you so much. I cried again. I just cried all week. But thank you, Heather. You are amazing, and I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see you inside Income Multiplier.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Guys, women, dreams can come true. Let's go get it.
You're the sweetest. Have a good day, honey.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.